it is a tough deal going from everybody cheering for you to nobody caring about you.
At just 6 years old, Tamron Smith was introduced to football.
6 80-yard touchdowns.
Hitting jets on defenders.
2 were interception returns.
High-stepping in the end zone.
Scored 9 touchdowns.
All while playing kids twice his age.
And my dad was like, nah, he's too little to be playing with these guys. But I was in there getting it, though.
He was a young football star ready to break out the backfield and into the spotlight.
I always felt I was better than everybody.
Until he got to middle school. Coaches switched Smith to defense, and he was a third-string running back.
So I missed 2 years of playing running back my 7th and 8th grade year and didn't play at all my 6th grade year.
By his sophomore year in high school, Tamron Smith's football career started to take shape.
2 minutes left in the game, they gave me a chance to play fullback. I scored a 25-yard touchdown, and the head coach was like, why this kid ain't playing? That's when my career started rolling.
Becoming the first person in Youngstown South High School's history to rush for 1,000 yards. It was games like this one.
A sharing game. I scored 4 touchdowns, 275 yards, and I was sick.
That landed him in front of college coaches.
I had a visit to UCLA, didn't work out.
Because of his ACT scores. But that didn't stop Youngstown State University from offering him a scholarship.
YSU was like a turning point of everything.
Tamron Smith powering in for the winning touchdown. Tamron Smith ripped off a 21-yard gain. Tamron Smith went up the middle from the 4. Tamron Smith capped a 79-yard drive with his 51st career TD to put the
from winning national championships in 1991 and 1993,
going into each stadium, everybody giving you their best shot,
to preparing for games.
Basically we had good line blocking.
But he never prepared for life after football.
School wasn't never a part of what I wanted to do. I just love playing football.
You need plan B, no matter how good you are.
That's Dr. Jack Lessig, a former sports psychologist for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's treated players at all levels of sports.
Those who were smart enough to have a plan B are going to be better off.
I did not have a backup plan because I quit school in '93. I quit thinking that NFL dream gonna happen.
Dr. Lessig says in high school, athletes have an unreasonable expectation of turning pro. 30% of white high school players compared to 60% of black players think they're going to turn pro. But only 4% of high school players even make it to college sports. Smith was a part of that 4%.
It was a blessing.
Beating those stats, Smith got a chance with the Cleveland Browns.
I survived about 2 cuts, and then they got me up out of there.
Running out of time and opportunities, the Washington Redskins offered Smith one last shot.
I tweaked my knee a little bit. I said, Coach, I really can't run right now. He said, son, you can't make the club in the tub. Gotta let you go.
Smith still dreamed for one more shot at the pros.
2 months later, I get shot in the head. That's where my football career died at.
Someone shot Smith less than 5 miles from where he found glory at YSU Stadium.
I haven't been over here at all in 20 years, since 1995.
He told me how it all played out.
We went to a bar on the east side. My boys had went inside the bar, and they ended up getting into a fight.
The fight spilled outside where Smith was standing.
One guy punches me, another guy comes over his shoulder with a gun. Boom, 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 starts shooting at me. All I remember was just running, going over cars. I'm hearing the guy just shooting at me. Wow, bam, bam, and the whole time just shooting at me. One time he came over and was shooting down at me. I spent and shot out to this fence. So I hit the fence, and that's when the bullet hit me on the side of my head and knocked me off the fence.
The bullet went through the right side of his skull and came out of his eye, giving the shooter time to stand over Smith.
I'm done.
And point the gun in his face.
I heard him shoot one more time, but the gun didn't go off.
Doctor saved his life, but couldn't save his football career.
When I'm in the hospital, man, I know everything over. You know, doctor says you're gonna lose your eye.
To Smith, no eye, no football meant he no longer had an identity.
Losing identity is huge.
It's extremely, extremely hurtful, extremely, extremely painful.
Those who only have that identity as an athlete are going to be devastated.
I felt like I let a lot of people down. I felt like I let myself down.
Losing a dream or losing a career, you'd be at high risk for some degree of depression.
I was rock bottom. It just feels so terrible, man, about losing everything and not getting to the apex that you wanted to get to.
Regret.
If I just would have tried a little bit harder here.
Anger.
Didn't feel like I got a fair enough shot.
and confusion.
How do you move past it?
Mixed in with depression,
I'm here by myself now,
recovering from being shot,
taking care of 3 kids.
with no job, no plan B, and no self-identity.
You just don't find yourself in 10 minutes or 2 months or 6 weeks or a couple days. It takes a while.
Learning to live life with one eye made that process even harder.
There's little white girls. It's like, hey, mister, what's wrong with your eye?
A constant reminder of everything he lost.
I would love to, feel whole, but that ain't what it is no more.
Although football was taken from him, he used tools the game taught him to heal.
Being able to comfort yourself, particularly during rough times when things are not going well.
You just got to keep worrying about moving forward and being the best person you can, starting right then and there.
Being able to really focus and concentrate on what you're supposed to be paying attention to.
I can focus on my education. I end up graduating.
Skills that helped him
Focus on not playing anymore and doing other things.
like climbing out of rock bottom to find his purpose.
I knew I started liking to work with kids, so that was my future, and that's what I did.
Particularly young athletes.
When you're young and you have no plan, you think life is going to be forever. You're going to think these situations last forever. You're going to think that football is going to last forever. You think people are going to love you forever and they're going to give you the benefit of doubt forever. And that is, unfortunately, is not the truth.
A lesson Smith learned at 25 is now a lesson he teaches the teenagers at East High School.
I work with kids now about developing a plan of what do you want to do after.
He's a teacher and coaches both basketball and football, passing down his wealth of knowledge.
You don't know when and where the worst thing in the world is ever going to happen to you.
To the kids he sees himself in.
Nobody has that innate sense.
A night Smith now rarely questions,
I don't blame God.
but is also grateful for what it showed him.
Being shot, losing my sight is all part of what it is now. I accept everything that's going on. I understand, life has its ups and downs, but the best thing is I'm still here.